Today's sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Miami Dolphins and the Cleveland Browns. Two teams here fresh off Week 1 victories who can keep it going as we're underway on EA Sports. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. They begin on the ground with Kamara. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. Right away, they rack up 10 yards on their first play from scrimmage. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Watson. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. 23 yards on the play. So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 41. Now it's Watson. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down. Well, only 3 plays in here, but really, Charles, a solid start for this offense, and now we'll see if they can continue their mission to end this drive in 6.
And I wonder if their play caller right now is reflecting on that last big play that they've had on this drive. Do you come back with something similar, or do you have a...
And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. Jerry Jeudy, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Browns get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Extra point by York is up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Noah Igbenogany from his end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. And now a timeout called defensively by the Browns. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. They'll run here with Raheem Mostert. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6. Well, this defense for the Browns, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
And they needed to be because their offense struggled throughout the game. Sometimes as a defense, you're not just shutting down the opposing team's offense, but you have to outplay their defense as well, and that's what they did in their last game.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Again, they'll run it with Mostert. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give him 12 yards there, and the Dolphins have a first down.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Up the middle they go with Mostert. And he lost the football. And this is picked up by the Browns. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. And a little careless there, Charles, on that carry.
And it's not just having two hands on the ball. It's tucking it away. It's using your body to keep people shielded off. It's so many different things into taking care of it and having ball security. In that case, though, we didn't see it happen.
Following the fumble recovery, Watson. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. It looks like a 12-yard loss there on the first down sack. Well, let's see here, Charles. He was sacked 6 times last week. Now a first-quarter sack. What's going on in his mind?
Well, he's thinking to himself, 5 offensive linemen. I got sacked 6 times last week. Let's start thinking about keeping extra people in. Tight end stays in. If I have a fullback or the running back, they stay in and help me block. Maybe not as many receivers in a pattern. Anything to try and slow down that pass rush.
Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Picked off by Jerome Baker. And the Dolphins are going to take over here up near the 40.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by John Johnson. And the Browns are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. And Charles, that's now 4 interceptions over his last 3 halves of football. Because remember, he threw 3 picks last week.
Starting to wonder if maybe defenses and those coordinators have identified something on tape with what he's doing. Maybe a movement, maybe the way he's moving his shoulders. Who knows what it could be? He could have a few tells out there that they're keying in on and allowing defenses to get to the football a little bit faster. People steal signals. Maybe sometimes they can figure out what the quarterback's doing just by his movements.
And he's going to be taken down at about the 33. Watson off play action. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Jerry Jeudy with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Browns are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by York is up and good. And it's now 14-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Igbenogany going to take it out of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down. On 1st and 10, it's Mostert. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football. Let's get things settled.
The pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd. When you're down a couple of scores like this, CD, you can't afford too many plays that go in the wrong direction like that one.
Yeah, when you take a good look at it broadly, sacks are better than giving up an interception. But where they are on the scoreboard, They've got to get rid of all of that and just create positive plays for themselves in order to have a chance.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to have to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
And here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. Great coverage there, holds him to a 2-yard return following a 50-yard punt. And the Browns will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Browns drive about to get started. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Watson. He'll get this one underneath to Kamara. And he's dropped just shy of the 25 at the 24. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out by a few inches. That'll be a 1st down.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Not a lot of running room there. Not a place to make a cut and kind of exit out because they had everything bottled up. Looked to me like the linemen were taking on their blocks really well and giving up no creases.
Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now Watson. Over the middle, complete. It's Bryant. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. On 1st and 10, Watson. Throws right side, and that's complete. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 34. Forced out to his left. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down. The Browns at 1-0 on the year following the win in Week 1. And they've gotten a pretty good deal from the schedule makers as well. Home dates in Weeks 1 and 2.
And I would believe that they would need to take advantage of that, partner, because as you can imagine, the road dates will pile up later this season. So this is a great opportunity for them to put some early distance on the rest of the division and create a little bit of a cushion for them for later in the year.
On the check down, he finds Kamara. And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line. Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. Here's Watson. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th. Now Watson will step away, and out comes Cade York to handle this 4th down field goal try for the Browns. York able to send this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. So 3 points there, and they continue to build this first half lead.
Yeah, every little bit helps, and the more that you can put together drives and start controlling the tempo, controlling possession, finishing with points, the better off you're going to be.
Igbenogany going to take it out of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Tua now on first down. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep 2 eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting 2 hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit. Even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
So after the incompletion on first, now second and 10. Tua sets up to pass it. Out to the right here to Wilson. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 11 yards for number 11.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another first and 10. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. Going right back to Wilson. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. On second down, Mostert. And good space to operate there as he takes this down inside the 35-yard line. 54 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
A good run there off right tackle in an old-school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009, 2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
They will get 4 yards here on the first down run, and that'll make it second and 6.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Following the pickup of 4, here's second and 6. A run with Mostert up the middle, and he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
But they're getting ready to go to work now in prime real estate after that last run. Found his spot and picked up nice yardage, didn't he?
And now he's got him knocking on the door of the red zone.
Ready. Go, 17.
Now they'll throw with Tagovailoa. Catch made right side by Wilson. And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. On the handoff, this is Mostert. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Raheem Mostert, his second rushing touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. extra point up and good by Sanders, and that'll cut the lead to 17-7.
Jason Sanders to kick off for Miami.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. The Cleveland offense ready to go. There's really no reason to change what they've been doing to this point. They've got the lead. They've looked good this first half.
I agree with you totally, and a lot of coordinators, play callers feel exactly the same way. Until you stop what I'm doing, why should I make any changes? But there are a few that kind of outguess themselves or try to outguess the opponent, and they try to consider what they would do to take things away and go to those plays right away. It'll be fun to watch when they get to the second half to see which way they go.
Yeah, but to this point, it certainly hasn't been broke. We'll see if they try to fix anything. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Watson. Escaping the pressure right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
But whatever they called on defense, they made sure they were ready for the pass on that snap, made the proper adjustments, and helped force an incompletion.
So now 3rd and 10, a big play to start the drive, but nothing since. To throw is Watson. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 23 yards, the final tally.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Throwing right, and that's complete. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. From the red zone now, Watson. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete.
The way he's been slinging in the first half, you expect everything he throws to go for a touchdown, but I guess he's going to have to wait to try and pick up that 3rd, isn't he?
Yeah, I thought he had him for a second, but you're right, not to be. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Watson now to throw. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Back at the 26-yard line. Now the Browns signal for the 2nd of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. Following that sack, Watson and the Browns backed up for a 3rd and long. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Trying to improvise. And that'll be incomplete with 11 seconds remaining now.
Like what I see so far out of this defense because they've been showing their best coverages on 3rd down. So far, only allowed 1 conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of their game plan that they've executed to perfection.
The second quarter score from Cincinnati. And the early going, it's the Texans out in front. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL.
Igbenogany going to take it out of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And with only 4 seconds on the clock, time likely for just one snap of the football. Throw right side, going to be caught here by Waddle.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter.
The Dolphins down on the scoreboard, but they'll have it first as we get going in this third quarter. Igbenogany going to take it out of the end zone.
Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. He's at the 40, the 20, and he'll bring it back all the way. Touchdown, Miami.
That's the score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Browns drive about to get started. They start the second half with Kamara. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Faking the give. Now Watson. Being chased out left. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's third. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the third quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Back to throw, Watson. Going down the middle, and it's complete.
And he's brought down here just outside of the 20. I don't think there's anyone who could possibly doubt how fast he could run in the open field. But if there were, he silenced those thoughts there.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
Here's Watson. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line.
Jalen Phillips, the former first-rounder, getting in there for the sack.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Another try after the first down sack. Watson.
And that's caught by the tight end, Bryant.
And he is out of bounds inside the 30. So the completion good for 7 there. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. Now Watson from the gun on 3rd down. This will be caught inside the 10. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, he just need the tip of the ball to cross the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with 1st and goal.
Kamara will score. Touchdown, Cleveland. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a 2nd one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. Should have been picked. Probably doesn't matter on a 2-point conversion, but still, as a former DB, you want to grab that ball when you can, don't you?
You certainly do, and don't say it, because I know you're thinking it. Don't say it.
What am I thinking?
You know what I know what you're thinking. Well, if he'd had hands, he'd be playing on offense.
That's true. You've said that before. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. Setting to throw on 1st down is Tua. Got a man here, it's Wilson. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They hand it off to Mostert. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. 83 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. 8 yards the tally on that 1st down run. Here's 2nd and 2. Once again, it's Mostert. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, and now they go from 2nd and 2 to a tough 3rd and 4.
If these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. He completes it to Wilson. And he's just going to be short here, barely, maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great range. What do we have now, 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
They'll try it now with Mostert. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on 4th. On their own side of the field, close to the 50, but their own side of the field, they only needed a couple of inches, and they were able to get it done.
And it doesn't matter whether you're a zone blocking team, a man blocking team, gap blocking, whatever you want to call it. When it's in this situation, it's really man-on-man, isn't it? Who's going to win the battle? And right there, we saw it at the point of attack. Find enough yardage to pick up a 1st down. Give him credit for that one.
That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Looking to throw again on second down. Tua. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
They'll try and run here with Mostert. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. Give him the third down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
Someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot has been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on third down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. Work to do here to avoid falling to 1-1, but this is 1st and 10 right now. Looking to pass. Tua. Eluding the pressure right. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
Third quarter action. Appreciate you joining us from Cleveland, Ohio. 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. He rifles one that's intercepted. John Johnson with the INT. And the Browns are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line.
I tell you, Brandon, it seems like this guy's been all over the field so far. That's his 2nd interception of the game. And so much of playing defense in the NFL, especially when it comes to defending the pass, is all about positioning and technique. And this is fantastic work on both fronts there.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. On first down, it's Watson. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Christian Wilkins able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35. The passing game continues to be their friend, even with a stable lead here in the 4th, Charles. They're going back to that well.
Yeah, with their overall philosophy, you know that they trust their quarterback. He's been able to throw it well. If they continue to throw these safe passes, who can blame them?
And he's going to get this down near the 25. This offense really looking polished these first couple of weeks. Here's 1st and 10. Now it's Watson. He's got his receiver, Cooper. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Watson looks to throw again. Fighting through pressure. But he can't get away forever, and down he goes. Not the 1st and goal play they drew up. Multiple defenders in to bring him down to the ground.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has now received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one, weren't able to do so.
The Browns on third down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This will be 3rd and a mile. And he'll be well short of a first down as he stopped again right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. York able to send this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. So an important one there as they widen their lead in this 4th quarter.
All right, partner, help me out with the math here. Make sure I am on point, because the way I see it, the other guys still need 2 touchdowns, but in addition, a 2-point conversion. So this is all about them playing perfect football from here on out.
The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. Igbenogany going to take it out of the end zone. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20.
The Dolphins take over first and 10 at their own 18-yard line.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in this second half. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. In for the sack, Myles Garrett.
Remember, throughout my career here in defensive coaches, I always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. And they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. They're going deep for Hill. Oh, and Tua going to be intercepted for the 3rd time. Picked off by L'Jarius Sneed. And the Browns are going to take possession here at their own 33. The Browns drive about to get started. Trying to run down some clock with Kamara. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. Backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football.
The Browns send out their punter now. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the 4th quarter. Now Hill to return it. Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. Had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And if we kept having a rough patch, he said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. Now a man open down the middle of the field. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
Here's Tua. Along the sideline, Mostert making the play. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. 23 yards on the play. Tua. And this is caught down for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. Okay, so they got the score. Do you go for one here and save the possible two-point conversion for later?
I think you do, because if you go for 2 here and you don't get it, that's deflation.
Yeah.
Now you wonder why you're even going for it. Take the easy one now and come back and try and get it later.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And this game not quite in hand yet. We'll likely see all 3 timeouts defensively and then reassess where we are. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Again, it's Kamara. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. A 10th carry for Kamara. Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. Second down. Now a second timeout called for by the defense, as they'll stop him with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7. The Browns in victory formation now as they take the knee. So it's a win here for the Cleveland Browns, and it's thanks in large part to the play of their quarterback, Charles, and that's one Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, you really have to credit the protection he got as well. He had time to throw all game long, and he took advantage, throwing for close to 400 yards and 2 touchdowns.
So for the Browns, they use the favorable early schedule to their advantage as they move to 2-0. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Los Angeles Rams. Meanwhile, for Miami, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to KC to take on the Chiefs.